Well, hello everyone. Today I would like to discuss on chapter 2. Chapter 2 talk about individual behavior, personality and values. So the purpose of this video is actually to give you a teaser on chapter 2 and also to help you with your study, with your case studies as well, so that you can understand what this chapter 2 is all about. So when we talk about individual behavior, personality and values, so what comes to your mind? What is individual behavior? So because every one of us have different types of behavior, how we behave according to the situation that we are in, and there are also several other factors that actually influence how we behave. So in chapter 2 you will come across what you call it the Mars model of individual behavior. So the first thing that comes to my mind when I say Mars model is the chocolate bar, Mars bars. And actually I'm not really a fan of Mars bars, but in this model, this Mars model is actually to help you understand what actually influence your behavior. So if you refer to the Mars models of behavior, individual behavior, we say that the individual behavior is actually influenced by the motivation, the ability, and the role perceptions. And all this also actually it's your motivation, your ability, and your role perceptions is actually influenced by your personality, about your values, the values that you are being taught when you are small, and the values that you came across when you are a student or when you're working in an organization. And we talk about your self-concepts, how do you perceive yourself, and how you enhance yourself, how you position yourself in the organization, in the society, and among your friends, and so on. And we talk about the emotions and your attitudes. If you are happy, you will behave differently. If you are sad, vice versa. Talk about also stress can also influence your behavior. Like myself, and all this kind of traveling actually caused me so stressful, and at the time I can be so cranky until my mom said, whenever you have to go for travel and whenever you're at airport, you're so cranky. But again, everything is because of the situational factor as well. So when you see in the Mars model, and you will come across the situational factors, and how actually all this individual behavior can actually influence the organizational performance. So usually organization will expect employees who are motivated, who are very passionate about their job. Well, it depends. If their goals, if the organizations, it's tally with your goals, your individual values, okay, fine, you will go with the flow. But what happens if the organization does not portray the right value? There's a difference between the value, in the organizations and your own behavior. Because I came across my own student, my PhD student. So he did a study on employee turnover in banks in Pakistan. So one of the variable is talking about ethical climate. Because from his finding, actually, there's the organization, he came across that the top management is actually unethical. All the things, swindling, fraud, and so on. And actually, this is one of the cause that the employees lost trust in the organization. Because if the organization, if the top management does not walk the talk, so how do you expect the employee to behave in such a way? So that's about organization. So what do you know? So thus in an organization, top management have to portray positive values to the employees and make sure they walk the talk. And this kind of values actually can enhance the proactiveness, the proficiency, the adaptiveness in the organization among the employees. And not just that, it should encourage organizational citizenships. But if the values are not the same, what we do? What can employee do? Either stay or they leave. So this kind of values or this kind of behaviors that organization doesn't want to see in their employees. Yeah. And of course, there's a lot of personalities that you can come across in an organization, even in your class, not just in class, even in your family, your siblings. Every one of you have different personalities. You might be different from your brothers or your sisters. Even there's not always opposite attracts between you and your loved one and your partners. Yeah. And how this personality comes into the picture. What actually create the personality? Is it due to nurture or nature? It's something that you can discuss. Well, it depends. Sometimes because of the nature itself. Of course, you'll be nurtured when you were small. You'll be nurtured by your parents based on the values, your culture, your religion. But as you go on, as you're working, then you will see different kind of values. And then you tend to choose or tend to adapt, which is really close to you, or which is like go hand in hand with how you've been nurtured. Yeah. So this kind of personality means that personality is actually both, from my opinion, nature and nurture. Yeah? So if you do not nurture, sometimes then difficult for the nature to influence it. Well, it depends on the situation. So at the time, people may change. Maybe there's some situation where they've been through some experience that the bad experience or good experience, it can actually help to develop their personalities. And also you might come across the big 5 personalities. So these big 5 personalities is actually based from the research by Costa and McCrae. It came out with, they call it the canoe model, but I love to call it as big 5 because one of my students, my previous master student, did the study on this. So according to this big 5 personality, there are this consciousness. This consciousness talking about someone who are very organized, who are dependable. And then secondly, you talk about agreeableness. Someone who is always trusting and very helpful. Someone that you really can trust on if you need anything from him or her. And besides, you have neuroticism. But actually, neuroticism is the opposite of emotional stability. So if you have a good emotional stability, then everything goes well. But if you are neuroticism, means that you're always stressful, means it relates to neuroticism and feeling of insecure, feeling of low self-esteem. And there's another personality that we call openness to nature, openness to experience. Sorry, we talk about openness to experience means that you are someone who are imaginative, who are creative, and you can say daydreamers. But for me, daydreamers, yes, why not? Because when you have dreams, then only you can plan what you need to do, what you like. It actually helps to motivate you. Then we will go into that in the other chapters. And the final is the extraversion, means someone who are very talkative, you are energetic. Yeah, you can say it also can be related to agreeableness at the same time. So that's the canoe model or big 5 personalities. And you will come across about the Jungian personality theory. It's more or less almost similar to big 5 personality. However, this kind of personality test has been done in other organization, but it proved not to be successful because it can't really predict the performance. Because when you expect, in a form, you expect the employee to write the name, then do you think they can actually show their own nature? No, they will hide it. Yeah, but unless if it's anonymous, it will be different stories. And you will also come across this Schwartz values of model. And it's also, I think there's one interesting part when we talk about the Schwartz value model, we talk about the self-transcendent. Yeah, the self-transcendent is talking about the universalism and the benevolence. Something what we can say, something like you are to promote the welfare of others. You are tend to be so helpful, thinking about others. When we talk about ethics, so it's related to the ethics of care, when you really care for the people under you, for your subordinates, for your family, friends. So this kind of self-transcendence, so this kind of personalities that actually can motivate a person to be a better employees, a better managers, and besides you can see and how all these values can actually helps you, can develop you, yeah, to help the organization growth. Yeah. So all that is, and at the time when we talk about ethical values, yeah, I want to talk about the principle of utilitarianism. Okay, so utilitarianism talks about the good, I mean for others, yeah, whatever we did, always to give the greatest benefits to everyone. So when I was teaching business ethics, I came across a case study, or something that you can ponder. Well, I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but maybe it happens. Let's say there's a homeless man, yeah, involved in an accident. But this homeless man is without identity card, so nobody can really identify him, and he is in the verge of death. He's still alive, but like maybe 50-50. And there is these two doctors. Dr. A said we should help this guy. But Dr. B said, oh, never mind, let him die, and then we can harvest the all the organs, like the eyes, the lung, the kidneys, and then whatever things that they can harvest, so that they can help people. I mean that from this one that person you can help at least maybe 10. But Dr. A said no matter what we still have to help him because he's a human being. But for principle of utilitarianism means that it's better to let the person die so that it can help others. Well, really, this principle actually promote the end justifies the mean. Well, we can say again, we talk about the situational factors, but maybe you can discuss among you, so which is better, whether to help the man or not. But as a doctors, definitely they have to help him. Dead or alive is a different story. Only they try their best. If he died, then it's okay, fine. They can, use his organ to help others. But let's say he's alive, then it's okay. Can help. Still, you can help that person as well. And maybe in and up, the homeless man, maybe if we were given chance to him, maybe he could also help other people as well. So it depends, yeah. So everything, so whatever the moral conducts of anything that you are in your life or in the organization is actually depend on the moral intensity, and like I said, based on how you've been nurtured and or through nature. Talk about the sensitivity. Because sometimes deep in our heart, yeah, we know that if it's good or bad. If it's good, it's fine. But sometimes we feel that, our gut feeling will say that whatever you wanted to do, something might stop you, will say this is bad, so you shouldn't continue doing it. Yeah. So, and how you could support this good behavior, the ethical behavior. So it also, when it comes into the organization should comes about, they have to have this code of conduct. They should have norms that actually promote well-being, promote positivity, promote all those good behavior. Yeah. And also when you talk about culture, we should also took into consideration the culture. Of course, every culture leads to promote good, promote positivity, not negativity. Yeah. And at the same time, also we have to be sensitive to other cultures as well. Sometimes whatever may be bad to us, maybe it is acceptable in other cultures, and and different cultures have their different uniqueness. Yeah. Sometimes we need to be sensitive of the cultures as well, because all these people from different cultures, they may act differently. There are some maybe Asian who maybe will have like in terms of power distance, maybe they are okay with the boss. Maybe they follow what the boss said. Maybe from other culture, maybe they will question back. And there are also some other cultures who are individualistic, or maybe talk about more towards teamwork. Yeah. And there are some cultures people who are actually avoid risk, and there are some who prefer something risk. They are risk takers. Yeah. Well, again, it all depends on who you are. Also depends on the situation as well. Yes, at the time we can be a risk taker, because if we those who like adventures or those who want, you know, challenges, it's fine. But those who feel that, why should we put ourselves in a dangerous situation? And again, everything is depend on the situation. You can be individualistic. Maybe sometimes you need to have your me time, and sometimes you need to do your work so that you can finish. You keep on helping others, and who is going to help with your work? Yeah, but of course at the time, yeah, helping each other. So everything is depend on the situation. Well, okay, I think that's all for now. We talk about this. So when we meet, we could discuss further. Hope this video could help you in your learning in terms of chapter 2, and also it helps you for your case studies. Okay, see you, and hope I could improve better, maybe in a better place. Yeah, because I'm doing it from my hotel room in Bandung now while waiting for breakfast, to go for my breakfast. So I decided to do this video for a while. Okay, see you, bye bye.